Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Welcome, friends, to this Sunday afternoon Dhammapada discussion and meditation. So this week we are finishing up the chapter 6 in the Dhammapada, the chapter on the wise persons, the Pandita Vagga. And today we're going to be looking at probably 4 verses, starting with verse 81. Again, I'm going to chant the Pali and then give the English translation. Selo yata ekagano valena nasamirati evam ninda pasamsasu nasamin janti pandita. As a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, even so the wise persons are not ruffled by praise or blame. Now, this refers to the praise and blame are 2 of what are called the 8 Lokiya Dhamma, or the 8 worldly Dhammas. And I've mentioned these before. The opposites of pleasure and pain, gain and loss, praise and blame, and fame and ill repute. So praise and blame, they call worldly dhammas because the ordinary person's mind is easily kind of, pushed and pulled in either of those directions. When a person is praised, they get a little prideful, or they, get elated, and are happy about that. But then the next moment or the next day, they could be blamed, and then they feel their ego is hurt by that, so they get affected by that. And the same with those other pairs of opposites. So those are called the worldly winds, or the worldly dhammas. Now, that's because a person doesn't have control over the mind. But the wise person, especially we're talking about the arahants, but anybody who's gained some level of the path and fruits, then they understand that all those worldly dhammas and conditions are impermanent. And ultimately, there's no self who should be affected by praise or blame. And a lot of it's just empty words by others. So the one person who blames you, another person may praise you for the very same action. We can see that in politics, of course, between the 2 parties, right? So, then one person who blames you, the other will some other will praise you for the same thing. So it's all a matter of opinion, you know. And opinions are just conditioned dhammas. So the meditator would try to understand that and not allow our mind to become inflated by praise or deflated when we get blamed. One has to know oneself. Now there's a story. The story behind this verse is that there was some novices who had been harassing a distinguished arahant. So there's one monk who was an arahant and attained full enlightenment. But this arahant was kind of short. So because of the shortness, people would sometimes harass them and maybe call them some, little names or so on, just like people nowadays do. If somebody's too tall, they call them some kind of a little nickname or some disparaging remark, or, if somebody's too short or whatever, people are always trying to call people names or ridicule them by their bodily features and so on, or even their mental features. So anyway, these are some novices, some young monks, were harassing this arahant. And they didn't know he was an arahant. They just saw this short little monk, and they maybe they were even taller than he was, and they were harassing him in one way or another. So then the Buddha, but the monk had shown no resentment because this monk was an arahant. So whatever names they were calling him, he wasn't clinging or identifying his body as himself, because an arahant would already be beyond no self and not identifying with any of the five aggregates, especially his body. So he didn't show any resentment about it. He knew that there were just empty words coming out of these untrained novices. And so, he didn't show any resentment. So that the Buddha remarked about that then. So that's why the Buddha then said this verse about this arahant. As a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, even so the wise are not ruffled by praise or blame. And so that's the way that we try to cultivate our mind. And not only for praise or blame, but even in the midst of pleasure or pain. Of course, when we're praised, that's a pleasurable feeling arises in us. So the pleasurable feeling is connected with being praised normally. And when you're blamed, a person feels a painful mental feeling. Because again, it's all connected back to the ego. But, the arahant has gone totally beyond that. And even the stages of, even the sotapanna has understood that the ego is an illusion, even though they might still have the actual ego consciousness within their mind. They know it's an illusion, so even a sotapanna is on a better footing not to be ruffled or disturbed by these 8 worldly dhammas. But we can see in ordinary life, people, are completely consumed by these opposites. And if they don't get them, then they incur, all kind of mental problems and so on. So, even our daily meditations, this is a training, especially the training in overcoming pain during meditation. Or observing when we're meditating, certain pains come up in your body, or itchy feelings, stinging and biting sensations, all kind of different, bodily sensations can arise, in a 30, 45 minute or an hour meditation period. And just to watch them, and they're always changing. And even the ones that we can see the urge to want to move, we can see that the aversion in the mind, and we learn how to relax through it and endure those painful feelings. And so actually physical pains are one of the best training grounds for learning how to deal with the other worldly dhammas like praise or blame, gain and loss. So that's why, a lot of people, they think meditation is just, you sit down and concentrate and they expect or hoping they're going to get some mental peace or some happiness. And they're thinking about, getting the jhana or piti and sukha. This is what drives people to meditate. But actually, that shouldn't be the goal of meditation. The goal of meditation should be able to observe pains in the body and learn how to relax in and through them. And you start out with the smaller ones like itches, stinging sensations, biting sensations, and gradually stronger pains, and the ability to just watch them and relax around them and understand these are also not me or not mine, they're just happening to this body, and create that distance from them. Then, because we have that going on the whole day long. So anyway, that's why the meditation practice, and especially with the pains that come in meditation, are a good training ground for dealing with the rest of these unpleasant types of sensory impingements. Okay, now this next verse 82. Again, I'll recite the Pali. Yata pirahado gambiro vipasanyo anavilo evam dhammani sutavana vipasidanti pandita. Just as a deep lake is clear and still, even so, on hearing the teachings of the Dhamma, the wise person becomes exceedingly peaceful. So, again, these analogies of like, a solid rock not shaken by the wind, or a deep lake is clear and still. So if you've ever been to a mountain lake or a pond, or could be, anywhere else, but, when the wind is not blowing and you see that reflective nature of the pond or lake, and it's reflecting all the branches and trees of the branches and leaves of the tree along the shore, the clouds going overhead, just like a mirror, like a reflection, or you can see deep down into the bottom of the water. So, of course, that's the effect of developing concentration. So when we hear the Dhamma teachings also, that makes our minds exceedingly peaceful, especially, somebody who appreciates the Dhamma, of course, and somebody who has at least meditated and understood the Dhamma to, a certain good degree. Hearing those teachings make them, glad and peaceful. Whereas somebody else, if, they might scoff at those teachings. What do you mean calm and peaceful? Who wants to be calm and peaceful? I want to be excited and run around and so on. At least, some people might answer like that. So there's the story connected with this verse. Is there was a young woman who was rejected by her suitor. That means some man who was trying to court her or get her to, become his wife or something. Because her mother had sent her to him empty-handed. So this goes back to the custom in India in the old days, although it still may happen sometimes, even now, but that, men wanted to get a wife, so they would, their parents would usually send the girl out to get a husband and give them some gifts. But this one mother sent their daughter to this this man empty-handed, and this man rejected her. Probably said, "Go away! What you bring me nothing? Get out of here." Assuming that she was poor, and didn't. He was expecting maybe to marry into a rich family or something. I don't know, but. It seems that the mother of this lady had spent all of her money on the monks, supporting the monks. So she didn't have any extra money to give to her daughter, to take to her suitor, or this man. So then that disappointed woman reviled the monks. You think, oh, they took all my mother's money and she didn't have any money to give me a good gift to take to this man. So she, reviled the monks and probably called them some names and so on. But then the Buddha preached the Dhamma to her, and her mind was pacified. So the Buddha must have given her a Dhamma talk and helped her calm her down. Anyway. But again, it takes a wise person to appreciate the Dhamma. Let's say if you do something foolish and, get hurt because it was because of your own mindfulness, and somebody kind of says, you did that, you were unmindful, you fool, and then the person might get angry about it, and take offense. You wouldn't appreciate that and get, oh yes, that's right. Mindfulness a day keeps dukkha away. Like, okay. So far we've these two verses we looked at. Does anybody have any questions about any of these two? Doesn't look like there's anything in the chat room connected with these two verses. But if anybody has a question, you can raise your hand and unmute and ask a question. Otherwise, we're going to go on to verse 85. I'm going to skip a couple of verses and go to verse 85. Actually, this is one of my favorite verses also. Apakate manusesu ye jana paragamino atayamitara pajja tirame eva nudavati ye chako samadakate dame damanuvatino te jana paramesanti machundeyam suduttaram. Actually, that was two verses combined, verse 85 and 86. Few are there amongst people who go beyond. The rest of humankind only run about on the near bank. But those who act rightly according to the Dhamma, which is well expounded, those are they who will reach the beyond, the Nibbana, the realm of passion so hard to cross. So those are usually the near bank and the far bank. These are terms that the near bank is, the worldly, the world, and specifically the five aggregates. A person is identified and clinging to the five aggregates, so they're stuck on the near bank. And the far bank are those who have reached the path and fruits, which is beyond, the senses and the conditionings, especially the stage of the Arahant. But those who act rightly according to the Dhamma, they are the ones who will reach the further shore. And we can see that people are just constantly running around on this bank, right? Just getting enmeshed further and further deep in the web of kama and greed, hatred, and delusion, and addictions and clinging to their opinions and so on. And they don't know how to get out of it, or they don't want to. But the wise person sees the futility of that and is able to eventually cross that shore using the Dhamma, the simile of the raft. So the story connected to these verse 85 and 86. There were certain so there were some devoted residents in a certain street decided to give alms to the monks and hear the Dhamma throughout the night. So that's a custom that still goes on in Sri Lanka or Thailand, with all-night Dhamma preachings. And so people will go to the temple and make some offerings, and the monks will conduct like a whole night bana preaching and chanting. But some of them stayed the whole night, but some that were consumed by passions, overcome by their passions. Oh, I can't stay up all night. I have to get my sleep, or I have to go home, or I have to watch some TV show on the TV, or, there's a party at 12 o'clock. I have to leave early. And so, people overcome by their desires, and or they nodded out. So hearing what had happened, the Buddha explained the nature of, the worldling, the ordinary person who's just pursuing sensual pleasure and, following their defilements, and they're consumed by the hindrances, as opposed to the person who uses the Dhamma to enter the stream of awareness and imbibe that subtler joy and happiness that comes from the present moment awareness, from having touched that present moment awareness and those subtler vibrations. So that's coming to the end of this that chapter on the whys. Again, I've skipped some verses, but I wanted to cover those, what I feel the more important ones. So, does anybody have any questions on any of those others? Or it could be a question. It could be a question on some other question pertinent to the Dhamma or about meditation as well. There's no particular ones about the sutta content, the Dhammapada verses. So it's all clear, right? Okay, if there's no questions, then we can take a short break and then come back and have some yoga stretches and meditation practice. Okay? just stand straight, relax your arms at the side. Feel your arms and hands hanging at the side.
Bhante, I think your mic is off.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Just begin taking a few deep, slow breaths. Gradually drawing the attention into the body. Holding in the breath a few seconds. Breathing out. Breathing in, letting go of the past and the future. Breathing out. Standing here and now. Okay, on the next in-breath, raise the arms over the head, interlock the fingers, turn the palms up, stretch the head back, arch backward. Out breath, touch the top of the head. Again, in breath, palms up, straighten the arms, stretch the head back. Out. Third time, you'll hold that upward stretch longer, bend back a little more. Out breath. Release the hands, arms back to the sides. Just keep the attention in the body. Feel the increased body sensation. The sensations of the clothing touching the skin. Or any sensations from under the skin. Pulsation. Remember standing. Okay, next, on the in-breath, push up on the toes, raising the arms over the head in this way, facing the hands toward each other, stretch up. Out breath, arms back to the sides, heels to the floor. Just use the breathing to help lift and lower the body. Again, in-breath up. Stretch. Out. In. Out. Relax. Keep feeling the body, don't let the mind wander. And next we'll do the knee bending. Again, the in breath, push up on the toes, lift the arms up front. The out breath, bend the knees, lower down, balancing on the balls of the feet. Come down as far as you can, squatting position. And deep breath, push up, out, in, out, in, the out breath, relax. Feel the increased heart beating, pulsation. And now spread the legs and feet apart. These 3 feet. We're going to do side bending. Breathe in. On the out breath, bend over your right side, letting the hand slide down by the knee or below the knee, leaving the other arm resting on top of the left side, hands on the hip. In breath, lift up. And the out breath, the other side. In breath. Again to the right, out breath. In, out. In. Once more to each side. Relax. Feel the whole body. Subtle vibration. Each foot pressing the floor. Hands touching the side of the leg. Clothing touching the skin on different places. Just this body exactly as it is here and now. Now we'll do the twisting from right to left, holding the arms out. To keep them kind of parallel to the floor. Breathe in. The out breath, look to the right, and twist to the right, keeping the eyes focused on the hand going back. In breath back to the front. Let the feet turn with the body, and then the other side, out breath. In breath, front. Again to the right, out breath. In left. Relax. Feel the sensations in the shoulders. Each foot pressing the floor. Now place the hands together at the chest. In breath, hands over the head. And out breath, hands to the chest, bend the knees, lower down. And keep the back upright. In breath, all the way up. Out. In. Once more, out breath. And out breath, arms back to the side. So mentally feel the outline of the body exactly as it is, here and now. Now we're going to do alternate toe touching, holding the arms out to the side. On the out breath, Bring the left arm across and down to touch your right leg, or down further, the hand further down if you can touch your foot. And then look up at your other hand over the head. Turn your head to try to look up at the hand, straight arm over your head. And carefully come back up on the in breath. And the arm back out to the side. And then next out breath, the other side. The right hand to the left leg or foot. Look up at the other hand over the head. In breath. Carefully come back up. And just repeat that 2 more times, alternating sides. Out breath. In breath. Out. In. Third time, you can try holding that position a little longer on each side. Come up when you're ready. And the other side. In breath. Back up. And relax. Just feel the whole body. Subtle pulsations, vibrations, sensations. Being activated life force. Now bring the legs and the feet closer together. Just keep the feet a few inches apart. Stand straight. Do the head turning. With the in breath, turn the head to the right. Out breath, turning 180 degrees back to the left, concentrating on the neck vertebrae. Feel, imagine them loosening up. And in breath back to the right. Out breath left. In breath right. Left. On the in-breath, let the head stop in the middle. Feel the whole body standing, standing, standing. And one last exercise, the backward and forward bending, holding arms out like this, turn the palms outward, face outward. And on an in-breath, raise the arms up and gradually spread them out to the sides as you bend back. Look up at the ceiling, the arms out to the horizontal. Breathe in, carefully straighten up, keeping the arms out at the sides. On the out breath, lower the arms and hands down toward the floor. If you can touch the floor, the feet, keeping the legs straight. And begin standing up, turn the palms outward again, in breath. Opening the arms out to the side, bend back. In breath, up, out breath. Again, lifting up, in breath. Out. And hold that downward. Stretch a little longer, let the lower spinal vertebrae where they join the hips, the pelvic girdle, sacrum bones, can kind of stretch out. They're rested together in a lot of people. And begin standing up, bring the hands together at the chest. Back to the side of the out breath. Relax. Close the eyes. Feel those activated life force sensations permeating, saturating, suffusing the whole body, mind, nervous system with activated, healing life force vibrations and awareness. Okay, We'll come back to our seats for get ready for the meditation. Okay, friends, so we'll have our meditation practice now. We'll try to sit straight and line the back of your head and spine in a straight line. Just gently close your eyes, bring your total attention down, feel your buttocks press the seat. You feel that hardness or pressure where the buttocks press the seat. It's like focusing a camera lens on an object. Bring the buttocks into clear focus. Try to feel the subtle sensations, pulsation in the buttock. And allow the awareness to kind of move down the legs toward the knees, just feeling the sensations on your legs, the trousers touching the skin. Going around the knees, feeling the way the legs are bent underneath. And going down to feel the heels of the feet. First, try to focus on the heel. Feel those subtle pulsations. And feeling the arches of the feet. Feel where the socks touch the skin of the feet. And moving down to the toes. Feel where the toes touch the floor, where they touch each other. Feel those subtle sensations in the toes. Just remember sitting, sitting, sitting. Those feet and toes belong to the sitting body. Now moving the attention up to feel your hands and fingers touching. When they touch together or when they touch your leg. Try to feel the outline of your thumbs and other fingers. Feel that subtle aliveness in the hands and fingers. And now feel the weight of the arms hanging from the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. And feel where the clothing touches the skin of the shoulders, arms, or even the chest. Just remember sitting, sitting. Now feel the base of the neck where the shirt or collar touches the base of the neck. And feel inside the throat, feel any sensation to swallow or cough. Now feel the head balancing on top of the neck. Feel your lips touching together. The upper lip touching the lower lip. A subtle sensation. The sensation of dryness, moistness. You feel the tongue laying in the mouth. The tongue may touch some teeth, the sides of the roof of the mouth. Now feel the eyes resting in the socket and the eyelids stretched over the eyeball. You feel those subtle eye movement. Relax the eye. You might see some color or light or a mental image or just darkness. Just let the awareness rest there, the point behind the eye. Just try to get the feel of your awareness being like a video camera, just taking a video of the inside of your face, just feeling the sensations on the face. And first the nose right in the front. Feel the sensations on the nose. You feel like the skin stretched over the forehead. And try to feel that little spot where the forehead comes down and meets the bridge of the nose. It's called the third eye center. Feel that sensation between the eyes. The eyes, the forehead, and the nose join. Just feel all of the sensations of the face. Feel all those different sensations on the face, the lips, the mouth, the nose, the eyes. Different little prickling sensations. Let the awareness kind of open up to feel the outline of the sitting body. Feeling the legs and the feet underneath, the arms at the side, the hands, the head on top. You should be able to kind of just hold that outline of the sitting body in the mind's eye. And then begin some deep, slow breathing, three-part breathing, if you know that. And expanding the lungs and the chest, holding the air in the lungs several seconds. And feel the outgoing breath. And just take several deep, slow breaths like that, cultivating this basic mindfulness. And breathing in, letting go of the past and future. And breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Again, we're going to count the breaths from 1 to 10. Try to build a better concentration. Stay focused on the expanding and contracting movement of the breathing. With the next expanding in breath, count 1. Feel the pause. With the contracting out breath, count 1. Next in breath, 2. Out breath, 2. In breath, 3. Out breath, 3. In breath, 4. Out breath, 4. In breath, 5. Out breath, 5. In breath, 6. Out breath, 6. In breath, 7. Out breath, 7. In breath, 8. Out breath, 8. In breath, 9. Out breath, 9. In breath, 10. Out breath, 10. Now discontinue the counting. Discontinue any deeper controlled breathing. Letting the breath return to its uncontrolled, irregular rhythm. We continue to feel it. Keep the mind focused there in the middle of the body. Feel the subtler movements of expanding and contracting. Just knowing when the breath is coming in and knowing when the breath is going out. Know it by feeling it. Just keep refocusing the lens of awareness. Try to notice the 4 phases of the breathing process. Expanding in breath and the brief pause. The contracting out breath and the brief pause. Over and over again. And make these brief notes to yourself to help remember. In sitting, out, sitting. Start to notice how each breath is different. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Sometimes it's an easy breath, sometimes a difficult breath. Sometimes the in breath is longer than the out breath, or the out breath is longer than the in breath. Be like a scientist sitting in the laboratory, examining the breathing process. This breathing body is the meditator's laboratory. In sitting, out, sitting, breath by breath, moment by moment, developing concentrated awareness. Establishing that natural connection to the breathing body, the present moment awareness. And with each in and out breath, you can feel the subtle rippling effects of other sensations, clothing touching the skin, at the same time, be alert for thoughts sneaking up into the mind to steal your attention away. Being alert for any of the 5 hindrances. To to apply the appropriate antidotes to the hindrances, to let go of them, keep coming back to stay connected to the breathing. Be alert for any other sensations in the body, trying to pull your attention away from the breathing. Aches or pain, strong itching, other sensations. Be alert for any urges to want to move. Just relax the body around any painful sensation. Relax the mind, knowing that all these sensations are impermanent, constantly changing. None of them can hurt you. In sitting, out, out, sitting. Sensations come and go, thoughts come and go. The in breath, the out breath comes and goes. Sounds come and go. These are all just the continual flow and flux of impermanent, the conditioned world through this breathing body awareness. You catch yourself lost in thoughts, recognize it as lost, lost. Find the body sitting on the floor. Take a deep, slow breath. Bring the mind back into the body. Straighten the posture if it's slouching. We can come back and do some more regulated, deep, slow breathing to help stay more awake and alert, concentrated in the breathing body. Try to notice more and more sensations or thoughts arising and vanishing in and through breathing body awareness. Try to notice subtler, finer sensation, how quickly certain sensations arise and then keep turning up the power of the mental microscope. Be alert to recognize, note the five aggregates. This is material vibration. This is pleasant or painful feeling connected with it. This is the perception. This is the thought about it, the reaction. And this is the ego consciousness. They continually just come and go and change. The breathing body away. balancing both concentration and awareness to develop concentrated awareness. Concentration is keeping aware of the breathing body, the awareness of noticing the flow of impermanence, the five aggregates, just the coming and going, changing through the breathing body awareness. When any pain increases, just be aware of the painful sensation. Understand, see how painful sensation is made up of many, many smaller sensations that are continually changing, building up in intensity, receding. Just relax the body around those sensations. Know that those sensations are just cells vibrating, interacting, bumping into each other, producing friction, sensation. You examine it with a scientific attitude. just cells, molecules, atoms vibrating. They're not me, mine, and myself. What perception arises in the mind based on that sound vibration? Sabbe sankhara anicchati. Sabbe sankhara dukkati. Sabbe dhamma anattati. Yanda Panyaya Pasati Atanibindati Dukhi Isamagu Visuddhi. All conditioned things, the five aggregates of this body, mind, and world, are impermanent. They arise only to change and pass away. And all conditioned things, if tightly clung to with ignorance, bring suffering. And all dhammas, the conditioned dhammas, as well as the unconditioned, deathless state, is without any owner or controller, are not self, not I, me, or mine. When one sees these three characteristics with the eye of wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with suffering. This is the path to purity, to freedom. And thus spoke the Buddha. Now take a deep, slow breath, straightening up the body, and spend the last few minutes of the meditations radiating out feelings of metta or friendliness, best wishes to our own body and mind and all other beings. So again, we'll do this by combining with the deep, slow breathings, set up some deep, slow breathing, really expanding the lungs and chest, holding the air in the lungs as long as you comfortably can. Try to feel those subtle oxygenating sensations, permeating and saturating all the cells of the body, mind, nervous system with healing energy, awareness. On the out breath, feel that relaxing contraction and pleasant sensation. On the out breath, feeling the last bit of air go out of the lungs, and then the next in breath. Just imagine that deep, slow breathing, like sending metta to your own body and mind. Just take a few more deep, slow breaths like that, cultivating these similar thoughts of, may I be well, peaceful, and wise. May I be free from excessive attachment and greed, anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, fear, pride, and ignorance. May I be free from the pain, sorrow, and sufferings of body and mind, brought about by such unskillful thought, speech, and actions. May I also have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life, and be able to continue to deepen my understanding of the Dhamma and practice of meditation to help free the mind from confusion and suffering. May I be well, peaceful, and wise. I try to continue taking some more deep, slow breath, and with each out breath, holding in the breath, and with the out breath, imagining these similar kind of metta thoughts and sensations going out to your family members, parents, other family members, relatives, good friends, teachers you had in school, neighbors you've lived with, different places during your life. Just sort of sending them the same metta thoughts of friendliness, best wishes, be free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, the pains and sufferings from their negative karmic thoughts and actions. Wishing that they can deepen their understanding of the Dhamma and the practice of meditation to free their minds from confusion and suffering. And with each out breath, just imagine these waves of metta thoughts, vibrations going outward across the towns and the cities and the countryside, eventually across the whole country, eventually the whole earth. Just with each out breath, just imagine these waves of metta vibrations going further and further outward in all the 10 directions to encompass the whole earth world. Just with the idea, may all living beings, wherever they might be well, peaceful, and wise, free from pains and sufferings of body and mind brought about by their unskillful thought, speech, and action. May all beings have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. May all beings be able to hear the teachings of the Dhamma and learn and practice meditation to help free the mind from confusion and suffering. May all beings be able to live peacefully and harmoniously together, understanding the ultimate interconnectedness and interdependence of all things. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. Now, I invite you to join in chanting the word sadhu 3 times slowly, if you like, on a long out breath. Sadhu. 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 Now place your hands at the edge of the knees Take one more deep breath and stretch your head back and pull the hands against the knees, arch your back, backward. Lift the head up on an in breath and press the chin to the top of the chest on the out breath. And lift up the chin level to the floor. Relax. Put a smile on your face.
Thank you, Bhante.
You're welcome. And finally, a chat.
Thank you, Bhante.
You're all welcome. I hope you be able to have a peaceful meditation.
Yes, thank you.
Anybody has any last question or Dhamma question about the meditation practice that you'd like to ask? We can spend a few more minutes. With that,
Bhante, I have a question about I tried to log into the into the, into the talk, and I was not aware that we are using the same ID now for both Wednesday and Sunday.
well, you have to make a point of reading the newsletter I send out every week, because that's where I make these announcements. And, it's important to read them, because otherwise you miss those little things. Read all the way through it. A lot of people just look at the title and say, "Oh, I don't need that," or they look at one or two things and they don't read what's below it, and they miss. They might miss some points like that. So, and also check our website, because things change once in a while. So that's the only sort of avenue or place, able to mention, some things like that.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah. So the meeting ID for both Wednesday and Sunday program is the same. It's the one that ends in 996. In case you still happen to see some different ones, just look for the one and the meeting ID that ends in the last three digits of 996. That'll be the right one.
Yeah.
Repeat is the
Any other questions?
Amerikanische.
I had a question for Suma, our technical advisor. You still there, Suma? Oh, there you are. Yeah, when I was started a guided meditation, I had, I was trying to just show the virtual background of what you see behind me now.
Yes, Bhante.
But it was still showing some bunch of shadows and things like that, and hadn't done that before. I couldn't stop it. That's why I turned it off, the video off.
Yeah. Did you try to turn that flap? Did that work, Bhante?
The flap was already turned. I didn't want to keep fiddling with it, so I just turned it off. But,
I had my eyes closed, Bhante. I should pay
well,
attention.
I'm hoping everyone had their eyes closed so they weren't seeing it,
Yeah.
Bhante, I have another request. I seem not to have Bhante Ji's latest email. If you wouldn't mind sharing it with me.
Well, I don't have that off the top of my head either.
Yeah, no, if you come to know later on, it doesn't have to be right away.
Prashant may know it.
Okay.
I have
I
it
can-
somewhere. I just have, because it's been changed a couple of times over
Yeah.
the years, and I'm not exactly sure which one he's using right now.
Yeah, I try to use the old one, but bounced back to me.
Okay, friends. So thank you for tuning in today, and hope your week goes well. Remember, mindfulness a day keeps dukkha away. That means practicing the M&M, meditation supplements between your longer meditations.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Bye.
Thank you, Bhante.